Didn't I tell you so? Didn't I warn you? That boy will bind you with his voice. Requests are pouring in already for an encore. Do you know that the foremost and most admired test to evaluate students and to rank the education infrastructure of a country? PISA tests students on three skills: reading, mathematics, and science literacy. That's how the world recognizes students. That's how the world rates reading. That's how we should. Reading is one habit that will free our children from the enslavement of the screens, the scrolling doom. Make them widen their horizons, learn about the world, unleash their imaginations, raise the communication, and keep them free, free to think freely, think to achieve their potential, to instill progress in humanity, and make the world better. We would not be leaving a better world for them. They will be creating it for themselves. Welcome to the Book Bibuli podcast. And now we come to episode 3 of our exclusive series with Lancers International School, Book Lancers, a series which celebrates readers from the school. Lancer International School is the school where reading is not just an also activity. Reading here is given the rightful place in equal standing with sciences and maths. That's where it should be in every school. Not a surprise that even after podcasting over 20 series and 90 episodes, hosting young readers, child writers, internationally awarded legendary children authors, we were overwhelmed by the sheer depth of the literary savoir-faire of their students. Prepare yourself for the next book lancer, Nishika. Sore throat, a change script, and a podcast to remember. That's Nishika for you. A script full of so many well written responses that any longer it would have needed to be in print. I see a writer somewhere bubbling out in her, and a writer with that voice, an actor, in one of her own script. Oh, my imagination is running wild. Or is it just her potential? I think I can be excused to be startled in the process of creating her podcast. Watch her. She makes her voice act. Welcome, Nishika.
Good afternoon. My name is Nishika Narang and I am in grade 9 from Lancers International School. I absolutely adore reading. It is the best thing in the world for me. Along with that, writing has become my passion. It all came from my love of reading. My favorite genre out of all of them has to be fantasy. Although I try to read various genres, I always circle back to fantasy. And the series that got me into reading was Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. It was the start of my passion for reading. I'm thrilled to be here today. Thank you for inviting me to this wonderful opportunity. We will be talking about The Night Circus. The Night Circus is written by Aaron Morgenstern.
Kudos to your passion. The Night Circus is a book that evokes very strong responses in readers. What did you think is the central theme of The Night Circus, and how did it resonate with you as a reader?
I think that The Night Circus revolves around themes of escapism and imagination. The circus is a center of imagination that means different things to different people. It is special to each person what they think and what they see in the circus. For Marco and Celia, the circus is a stage to perform in and something they are caged in. For Bailey, the circus represents an escape from his already planned out life. Like this, the circus means something to different people.
That's true. Everyone in the book and outside have their own perspectives. But apart from the human characters, it's the circus, the monochrome that hogs the limelight. How would you describe the enchanting atmosphere of the circus? Did you feel transported to its world while reading the book?
The circus was almost like a spell. It grabbed my attention as soon as it was mentioned, and the atmosphere was almost serene, with carefully plotted pieces of chaos. It really did feel as if I was in the circus, watching the shows in the tents. I felt as if I was a part of the world, and I wasn't just a spectator.
So, There is a love story, a thread that runs, that connects between Celia and Marco. The competition between Celia and Marco is a pivotal element in the book. How did you perceive their relationship and the development of this challenge? And I have to ask of you, which one was your favorite?
Celia and Marco were put against one another from the start without even knowing they were together. They were destined to be rivals or even enemies. Although their rivalry continued, they unknowingly began to tolerate and form afflictions with one another, without knowing that the night circus served as a venue for their duel, where they had to go against each other. It was almost a chess game, where only one winner stood alive. My favorite character would be Celia. I absolutely love the way she carried herself despite the challenges she faced. She's extremely resilient, and that is a quality that I admire. I love that she isn't afraid to show who she is, and she expresses herself even if it means that she has to be mean or even impulsive.
Lately, Meta was sued in the US for creating content for social media, which was deemed very highly addictive. Obviously, a replacement for reading. What did you think?
I feel like social media plays a part of in the declining rate of reading. For some people, social media is a huge distraction that catches their attention and does not let it leave. So I think that people start scrolling through social media, through Reels and other platforms, and instead get hooked on them and use it as a replacement for reading. Because social media, too, takes a person to another world. But that world is nothing compared to the one we get transported to when reading. Personally, I even get trapped in an endless cycle of scrolling through reels, but even I find my way out, and I remember that I have a better way of passing time and getting knowledge, which is reading. With the notifications, the ads, and the pop ups, it keeps a person engaged. People can find it difficult to commit to a lengthy book or even focus on something for a long period of time. So I believe social media has plays a role in distracting people, increasing the declining rate of reading.
Kudos to you for being able to step out of social media net. Some of us might not be so lucky. That is why we have tailor made programs for each individual. As for us, every one of our readers is a star. Especially, I would like to talk about the D Screen program, which is specifically targeted to rescue you from the quagmire of social media. You must have a deco at the website. Back to the book. This is one book with so many point of views, it's a little difficult to pick a favorite. Why don't you share your favorite passages or quotes from the book that you found particularly enchanting or poetic?
Because everything requires energy. We must put effort and energy into anything we wish to change. A quote by Celia Bowen. This is my absolute favorite quote in the whole book. It resonates with me because this is one way I get motivation. If I know I have to do something, I know what it will require to hard work. I will do it. Because I strive to get results from something that I have put effort into, that I have to put my own energy into. It tells you about how everything we do, everything we want to change, we have to do something about it. It will not happen on its own. Rather, it needs a push. And we have to be that person to give that force, that push.
Like we said earlier, the circus itself is a central element. How did it come to life for you? And what were the most captivating aspects of the circus?
The circus was definitely the main element. The circus fascinated me. It was the fact that the circus was run by magic and not simple illusions that drew me in. The time when Celia auditioned for the role of the illusionist was when I was enchanted. The description was uniquely worded, and when Celia transformed her jacket into a raven and Marcus into a dove, it symbolized the way both magics were different. Along with that, the people's stance that showed different magic really hit me because it showed the variety of things that they could do, their talents and their passions. The most captivating aspect of the circus was the bonfire. It was the main artifact keeping the environment of the circus controlled, at least to me. One of the things that intrigued me was how it kept the performers from failing in their performance. It was there to keep everything controlled, perfect in some sort of way. The bonfire can't be unlit, save for when proper magical abilities are used, and it is always moved lit. It was one of the best elements in the novel.
The ending of the night circus has been a point of great discussion. Did the conclusion meet your expectations and had you had a sense of closure?
The ending of the night circus was quite chaotic, in a good way, that is. The conclusion was definitely not what I expected, but I did love the plot twist. The challenge was taken as a draw because neither Marco nor Celia would participate, which led to a tie. My favorite part was when Celia improved her father's experiment, which previously failed, leading to both Marco and her existing in some sort of limbo.
Humans make the circus, and the circus makes or even breaks the human. What a concept! How did you feel about the way the story wrapped up?
I find the way Bailey, Poppet, and Widget continue to operate the night circus, even to the modern day, very touching. That was the best way that the story could have ended since they are continuing what once could have been history.
Thank you for your interesting perspectives on the book.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. I love talking to you about my passion. It was very new experience for me to be talking here and it was amazing.
And now it's time for Book Bibuli Read Record. This novel is about a circus, a magical circus. The narrator is godlike, and the point of views, many. In fact, this is possibly a book with the most conflicting reviews. It's possibly the first encounter that you shall have with magic realism. The language and the concepts are not easy to understand, and therefore, we would recommend this book for ages 13 and above. Take your time in reading this book, especially the second half. Remember that great things come to those who are patient. Is it true that the progeny of a reader can only be a reader? Is every other child doomed to the doom scrolling? Can the habit of reading be developed by the recommendations of a few books by an acquaintance? Does reading from the top chart websites, online recommendations, helping our children to become better readers? Or for that matter, even readers? Are the so called children's book appropriate to be read by children? Don't we fear the content of the book which we have given to our young ones without reading? And who takes responsibility if our children get exposed to the inappropriate? Can we say that just reading more number of books is helpful in the mental growth or language literacy of the child? Is the child getting exposed to different genres, styles, cultures, and literal variations? Is buying more books or visiting bookshops to score for books the answer to developing the habit? Can reading habit be inculcated by assigning it only to the school? Don't we desire to have an answer to all these questions? That is the North Star program. That is our answer. The reading program for children with that parental guidance. So every child is as privileged as the one with a reader as a parent. Think about it. Until then, better read, read better.